Hey everybody, it's Gables on the Go, Laurie and Mark. You're supposed to take it over. Okay, sorry. So, it's been a year since we moved to the Keys, and we call it our Keys anniversary. And we just thought we would share with you guys the pros and cons of living in the Keys as we have seen them for the first year living here.
Yep, and we are recording outside on our porch because we can't get outside today. The rain's blowing sideways outside, and all the noise you hear in the background, it's the wind whistling through the porch and everything, so we're sorry about that. We tried to dress this video up. We kind of have already done it a couple of times, and we tried a lot harder to make it nicer, but the fact of the matter is, Laurie and I we're not preppers. We're not planners.
We don't like planning.
We don't do good with scripts. So
No.
We just thought we'd get out here and just wing it and talk to you guys and tell you what our first year in the Keys looked like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the things we love and the things we hate,
Yeah.
and all in between.
Just like every other video we do, just from our heart, exactly what we think, good or bad, right?
Exactly.
All right, so what's your first point?
My first point is, even if you've never been you're a beach lover, but you're not maybe an ocean lover, a whole new world. Love the mountains, loved living there all my life until I came to the Keys and met the ocean in person. It's made a huge impact on my life.
Yeah?
It has.
So I talked you into it.
You did talk me into it. I didn't know I was going to love it, so now I'm just like mesmerized every day by the ocean and how it's so different every day.
Laurie wasn't real big on the whole living by the ocean thing. That was my idea.
That was.
And thank God I got somebody that'll follow me.
I'm always up for an adventure. Let's go see what we can get into.
We have loved it here. We finished up 1 year, and I will say that we still want to stay, so that's a good thing. We didn't sell our home back in Georgia because we did hold reservations as to whether or not we could live here full time, day in, day out. Let's face it, it's not a vacation anymore. It's always fun when you come on vacation down here.
It is, but all we do is work now.
Yeah. We do work.
I mean,
a lot
we
here.
do have some fun too. It's not all work.
But the good news is we do still love it after a year.
Mm-hmm.
We really do. We found a lot of things that we love about it. We found a few things that we dislike about it, and we just wanted to share that with you guys. So we'll kind of just dive into it and wing it, and hopefully the information that we give you is something that you can use if you're considering doing what we did and following your dreams and running down here to the Keys. First thing that stands out in my mind. Housing prices here.
Yes.
Housing prices here are shocking to us, for sure. We're not used to homes that would cost $149,000 in North Georgia, costing $600,000 here in the Florida Keys. But you know what? It's location, they always say, for real estate. And you know what? It is. If you want to live on the water down here in the Keys and you want to live this lifestyle, you've got to be prepared for the fact that so does everybody else in the United States and the world for that matter. And they want to come here and live too. And the housing prices reflect it. The rent is high. The housing cost is high. And I won't say that it wasn't something I wasn't prepared for.
We did know.
Because, we've
Somewhat.
been coming down here a long time. We did know that it was shockingly high by our standards. But it's doable, I mean, if you just get down here and try to make something happen and you set your goals and you're willing to make some sacrifices and you're willing to do the things that you kind of get out of your mind. We had a beautiful house on 6 acres of land. We actually still do have a beautiful house on 6 acres of land in Georgia. All the room we need, everything you could possibly want. But at the end of the day, it's about living, It's about the things that you want to do day in and day out, and that's what we love about the Keys. I mean, life is happening here day in and day out.
It is, and it's such a friendly community. It's very small town. You will meet, if you're willing to put yourself out there, you will meet so many new friends that you just have this common bond because you are here on an island together and you wanted to be in the Keys for a reason.
Yeah.
And you will find those people that are so friendly. They're animal lovers. They're generous. They like to hang out. They like to fish and go boating and do all the things you like to do. So you'll find a lot of commonalities in that aspect.
Yeah. And our friends back home, I mean, are the same way. All of the friends that we left back home to come here, I mean, we miss them desperately. They were those kind of people, and you know, and we're not saying that you don't have that wherever you live now and that kind of thing. But if you come down here to the Keys, you'll find really quickly that kind of everybody's that way. Like
They are.
everybody you meet, they're from all different parts of the country, and they're different in every way. But man, people down here in the Keys are a lot of fun.
They are.
Uh-huh.
We've had a lot of
I like
parties
that.
here. You have a big house.
There's been a party or two.
Just a few.
Let's talk about the bugs in the Keys
Oh, yeah.
and the animals.
The bugs. Oh, the bugs and the animals.
Okay, so
Surprise!
Yeah. So, guys, just let me tell you ahead of time. If you can't deal with mosquitoes and no-see-ums and raccoons and
iguanas,
geckos,
rats, curly-tail lizards,
ants, all that kind of stuff.
yeah, crazy Caribbean ants.
Yeah, if you got a huge problem with that, like a problem you can't get over with it, Florida Keys might not be your spot.
Might not be.
No, we live in concert and harmony with these things down here.
We do, or we try to.
Well, Laurie and I do now. You know, if you have a nice home built 10 feet off the ground and air conditioned the way it
True.
should be and all the other things.
True.
But if you're doing it like we're doing it, if you
you're
really want to get the
roughing
Keys, if you really want to get the Keys experience, you're going to deal with some of those things.
That's
And
right.
certainly if you're outside, no matter where you live, if you're outside, and I am awful with mosquitoes. Mosquitoes love me.
Thank God, he's my mosquito magnet.
No
I don't have to worry
seals
so much.
love me. I am a bug magnet for whatever reason. So like Laurie and I are sitting here doing this right now, and I had to spray down with off just so I don't get bit. She doesn't have to do that. But so I guess it's not a problem for everybody, but
True.
something to keep in mind.
You will wear a lot of bug spray and you will wear a lot of sunscreen because I guarantee you 30 minutes out in the sun here, well, okay, if you're fair skinned like me, you are going to be tanned, period, end of story. An hour, you're burnt, roasted.
Yeah.
So you've got to have your sunscreen on all the time. You've got to have that SPF, sun protection, and your clothing and your hats and all that stuff. And your bug spray.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah. You know, one thing that is interesting to me, I spent 15 years coming down here to the Keys. I love fishing. I love saltwater fishing. I love the ocean. I always have. My heart kind of, for most of my life, has been here on the water somewhere. And I was very shocked to find out after living here for a year that the thing that I thought would be most important to me, I thought would be that. I thought that would be my most important thing. And I'm really shocked at the end of the year to see how little overall that we use our boat. I get calls back home from Georgia all the time from my buddies back home, and they say, "Man, are you kidding me? Why are you not out on your boat right now?" We do live right on the ocean. My boat is parked right there, and it's sitting in the water every day. And when's the last time we've been out?
Gosh, I can't remember. Last time we had friends over.
10 days
Yeah.
or so ago. It may not seem like a big deal if you're living inland, but if you're down here on the water and you go 10 days and you don't go out on the water, like, I never would have guessed that. But when you get here and real life kicks in and you're doing your thing day in and day out, you're working, and the weather's doing its thing and all the other pieces of the puzzle, I'm shocked sometimes to see my boat out there, and I actually go out there and just crank it up to make sure the batteries are charged.
Make sure it doesn't sink in a rainstorm.
Yeah, and I'm supposed to be a charter captain. I'm getting a lot of calls for charters, but I'm not taking them these days so much because I'm really busy with the real estate thing. So that's my reason.
That's true.
But I was surprised that, you know, it's not every day, you know, cocktails out watching the sunset.
No.
And don't mean to crush anybody's dreams on that, and those days are there.
They
and
are
they're
there.
beautiful and they're
Lots.
wonderful. But at the end of the day, you still have to live.
And you have
And
to
you
be
still have to-
intentional about those things.
Yeah.
Because if you're down here day in and day out, it becomes just normal and, you know, you don't think about it. So you have to get really intentional about what do you want to do and enjoy every day of your life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And last time Laurie and I were out for a sunset, sitting on the boat, I turn the motors off. We go out here and we sit on Atlantic, especially on some very calm evenings.
Mm-hmm.
And we watch that sunset, and we don't have any noise around us and things like that. And I always make the comment to her, you know, it's so easy to forget. It's so
Yes.
easy to forget how beautiful it is and how wonderful it is that we're getting to enjoy these kind of things. And
Mm-hmm.
and like anywhere else in life, you start to take that for granted a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Molly just got stuck in a chair.
That's our Labrador Retriever,
Aw.
Molly.
Okay, she's all right now. She's good.
What about earning a living down here?
Earning a living.
If you got to work, you're not a multi-millionaire, we're not. And what if you have to come down here and actually earn a living? What's that look like?
So when we came down here, we had both been teachers. Mark had been in sales before, which was a good thing because he had that skill and that talent, I say. But I found a teaching job right off the bat. So if you're a teacher, believe me, they need teachers all the time down here. But it is built, this small island chain is built on tourism.
Yeah.
So if you are willing to just do anything that has to do with tourism, you can get a job. It's not a problem. They're looking for people left and right.
Can you get a job doing what you want to do in the Keys? Well, that's a totally different subject altogether. If you're willing to work, if you'll show up on time, if you'll come to work every day, if you don't get Keys disease, look it up. If you're willing to work, I'm telling you right now, I mean, you know, the tourism is booming. The economy's happening down here. It's not slowing down, but the problem that most of the employers in the Keys as a whole are finding is that they just can't find people who can live this lifestyle but have enough discipline to show up to work and to do the things they need to do and to get paid to do it. Those employers in town that, you know, I say in town, in the Keys in general, that can find people who are willing to work, that are willing to, you know, do the things they say they're going to do for the money that they're supposed to make. Yeah, jobs are everywhere.
Yes, they are.
There is no problem getting a job here.
They're
Teachers in the Keys, if you're a teacher and you want to come to the Keys, let me tell you, Monroe County would love to have you. I know for a fact.
They almost begged him to come to work.
Yeah, I almost didn't get out of the central office when I went down there to get my sub license just to substitute. And it pays pretty well. I mean,
It does.
our experience with teaching, you know, teachers make good money down here in the Keys, you know, as good as anywhere else.
Well,
I mean,
as good as Georgia
Good-
anyway.
good as where we
is
were in
what we
Georgia,
can
yeah.
compare it to. Yeah.
Yeah. So, bottom line is, can you make a living down here? You can work for sure. You can get paid for sure. Will it make you enough money to support a house that you have to buy here or rent that you have to pay here? That's just something you have to weigh out for yourself. But if you're willing to work and you want to come here, if you're worried about getting work, don't worry about it if you're a hard worker. If you're disciplined and you got your head screwed on right, yeah.
Sometimes you just have to make sacrifices on your housing or be a little creative in how you fund that.
Yeah. Yeah, and on that, speaking of that, on your housing, I think it's very easy for all of us to get kind of lulled into having a super nice house and having land or having
True.
the things we want around us, and you look for those things in your life to kind of define you,
And make you happy.
Yeah,
I think that's
to-
what you have to be happy.
to make that. And then at the end of the day, are you really living, or are you just kind of existing where you are? And that's one thing that bothered Laurie and I a lot. At home, we really enjoyed home,
We did.
and we had what we wanted, and we worked hard for it, and we had that in place. But at the end of the day, we wanted adventure. We wanted to live. We wanted to get out there and see things and have things. And the Keys provide that for us almost day in and day out. The weather changes constantly.
It does.
The environment
It's always
changes
interesting.
constantly. The people change constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Everything down here is not boring.
Right.
I mean, no 2 days down here are the same for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's, yeah, you start to get used to your surroundings, and you get used to the fact that you're living right next to the ocean and that you're down here in paradise and all that. You do have that piece still in place. But man, everything down here is constantly changing. Opportunity is always there in front of you down here to do something. And there's very few boring days.
Very few. It's only boring if you want it to be.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about hurricanes. That's the
That's the big question everybody
that's
wants to know.
the 800-pound gorilla in the room.
True.
Are we afraid of hurricanes? The simple answer is yes.
Yes, but no. Because right now we don't own a home, so we're kind of like, you know what? If one comes along, we've got time to evacuate and get out. And we have his mom in Florida. We have our house in Georgia. We have somewhere to go.
I'm
So,
not afraid of hurricanes because of our home. Even if we had bought our home here and all that, and I don't mean it like to be flagrant about it and say I'm not worried about our home. What I'm worried about is you and me.
well, right.
What
That's
I'm
our
worried
safety.
about is our life and
Because
Molly.
you can
and-
make that prediction when a hurricane is coming, you know.
And do I want to lose everything I own? No.
No.
And is a hurricane a big deal? And is it something to definitely be worried about? Absolutely. And we have lots of friends here who went through Hurricane Irma. Back when that hit, Laurie and I were not here, and we were watching safely on YouTube from
True.
from Georgia. And although I was just glued to it when everything happened, because I was so worried about everybody here, and I couldn't believe the loss that happened here. That still did not. There's Molly moving our tripod again.
Sorry. She's laying on her tripod.
That still did not prevent Laurie and I from moving here and trying to make a life here. She and I do not believe in what could happen. Do I say that right? We don't live in fear.
No, we don't want to live in fear. And our families were very concerned about us, well, especially mine, because I'm a Georgia girl.
I'm a
His
Georgia
mom's from
boy.
Florida. She's kind of like, well, it's a hurricane, and she can deal with it better.
My mom's a lot tougher than most moms. I'll tell you that.
Exactly, she is. But no, I felt very comfortable, and actually I felt more comfortable here in the sense that in Georgia, a tornado could come down the middle of the night and you will never know it's coming. But here,
True.
when you have a hurricane, you have warning. You know you might need to get out of town,
I doubt we're going to say a whole lot that makes any sense to anybody that is genuinely worried about that and would not make an investment here, would not invest their time or their money here in the Florida Keys. I think that's a very personal choice.
It is.
If you're the kind of person that is genuinely worried about that, I think you're totally justified to be. These things absolutely do happen, and it is a very, very real circumstance. But by the same token, Laurie and I just choose to deal with that in our life and say, well, if it happens, it happens. We do make preparations for it. We do have plans in place as to what we're going to do, and quite frankly, if and when the day comes that we have to run from the storm here, we just,
We just do it.
We just do it, yeah.
We have plans, but they're real loose plans.
I'm not gonna
We
put
don't-
brakes on life for that. Yeah, in no way do we wanna make light of how bad the storms have been here for people. And whole people's lives washed away and lost everything, and it was horrible. And we don't wanna make light of that at all. I don't think that's our point at all.
No, no.
It's just that for us, it's a risk we're willing to take. And it's just a lifestyle choice for us that we're saying we do like to live on the edge. We do make some kind of crazy decisions in our lives, and we push the envelope with a lot of things that we do because that's where we find life most worth living. So for everyone that was down here during the hurricane and lost everything that they had, our heart goes out to you.
Yes.
And we know without any shadow of a doubt that there was a lot of pain and suffering, for sure. And Molly has moved our camera again. I'm gonna slide it over.
An important thing that you will get if you get a job that has benefits, unless you have a really great portfolio of investments.
Where you can afford your own private insurance.
Insurance, exactly.
Yeah.
Insurance benefits are important for us, and teaching that provided those benefits for us.
Yeah.
But even so, when I want to go to the doctor, there is medical care here in Marathon and at every island. Well, not every island. Marathon,
We got 3 major
Key Largo,
hospitals, areas of medical care
Key
in the
West.
Keys.
There is medical care and doctors. Don't get me wrong, and there's some great doctors around here. But you know, when you go on to get into specialized care as you get older, once you hit 50 and things start falling apart at this, what do you call it?
Seams.
Falling apart at the seams, yeah. Then you start saying, oh my goodness. So then you're taking a trip to Miami, you know, to drive 2 hours to get up there to see a doctor that's a specialist. And so that's kind of unfortunate. And that made me feel like, wow, I'd like to kind of live at one end or the other of the island chain because not so far away. But you know, those of you who are used to driving, some people drive a 2-hour commute to work and back. It's not a big deal for them. I've been used to driving 5 to 10 minutes to work every day for the past 20 years. No matter where I've lived, it just worked out that way. And so to drive 2 hours to go to the doctor is a big deal to me.
Well, and let's just make sure nobody gets confused by that. There is medical care here, guys.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying, specialists.
There is your day-to-days here. There is your even non-day-to-days. I mean, you can get things done here in the Keys, and the medical care is here for major things.
Right.
A lot of people make the decision to go up to Miami, but for everything that we find, 99% of the time we can get handled. Marathon, Key West, Upper Keys, Key Largo, Tavernier area up that way. We find everything that we need here in the Keys. But for major stuff, you know, you're probably looking at going to Miami to get major surgeries done or things like that.
Yes.
So I would say for anybody in average health that wants to live in the Keys, there's not much to worry about. Yeah.
I know for us, my parents are like, you don't want to live where you want a vacation because you won't enjoy it as much. Well, I don't know, you know, loving the vacation right now.
I'm kind of digging it.
I'm kind of digging it.
Yeah. You know, that's a good point. We find that when we are living where we would want a vacation, this is where we vacation. So we don't find that we spend as much money on other things. I mean, the other things are right out our back door. You know, the other things that we would have spent huge amounts of money on to leave Georgia and to come here on vacation, we do all the time.
Exactly.
And so it's amazing how much the other costs stay down because we don't really want to go anywhere.
And there's not a lot of impulse buying here because there's no big box stores other than, you know, Home Depot, Winn-Dixie, Publix. That's about as big as you're going to get. You'll order your majority of your things off of Amazon.
Yeah, we wear some Amazon out.
We do.
And you know, Amazon has a center in Miami, and getting things down here in the Keys from Amazon is not a problem at all.
It's really quick.
It's
You can
faster
get
than it was
stuff in a
in
day.
Georgia.
Yeah, one day.
So
Sometimes.
anything that we really, really need, like, you know, that we can't buy down here in the Keys, we can get it on Amazon quickly, and that hasn't been a problem either, has it?
No,
We didn't even talk
no.
about that. So I would say after a year living here in the Keys, yep, we're happy. We're having a good time. It's been worth it. Hey, maybe here's the big question.
What's that?
If we had it to do all over again, would we do it over again the way we did it? What's your answer?
I don't think so. As long as we still get to go and travel in the RV, I'll be happy.
You don't think we'd do this over again?
Oh, no, I don't mean that. I mean, I would definitely do this. I just mean if you said, well, we can do this or travel in the RV, I'd be like, well, I want to see a lot more.
Well,
But-
yeah, if we had $1 million in the bank, we could just travel all over and
Well,
live
yeah,
footloose and
yeah.
fancy free.
Or we could live on a shoestring budget. But no,
I would
so
do it
glad
all
we
over
did.
again.
I mean, we would do.
I would do it. You know, we have our hopes and dreams, and if everything were perfect and we had either remote jobs we could do from the road, or if we had lots of money in the bank that it didn't make any difference and we could just travel all over the United States and see everything and bring you guys awesome footage from all over the place on YouTube like so many people do. Well,
But that's coming. We're going to do it.
yeah, we're working on that.
Hey, stay tuned.
But I would say I wouldn't have missed what we've done here in the first year for the world. I would do
Yeah.
it over again. I would get right back. I would hook up the truck and the trailer and load the dogs in there and move
The RV and the
move down
U-Haul
here.
and the truck and the Jeep and everything we brought down here. Yes, I would do it again.
I'd do it over again. I would hate to say that I missed this adventure, and I can't
Me
wait.
too.
I can't wait to see where it's going next. I mean, and with everything, with the channel growing like it has, and with everybody, you know, kind of cheering us along, and you
That's
know,
been great.
Your job has worked out wonderfully. You know, I got my captain's license and my real estate license, and the real estate thing has been just taking off in the last couple of months. And yeah, we've created more opportunity here in the Florida Keys than we created certainly that I created.
I think sometimes you have to leave where you are if you've been there too long and you're kind of stale and stagnant and you're in that rut of life. You just got to put yourself somewhere that you're uncomfortable, so to speak, so that you get out there and try some new things.
Yeah.
You
So,
put yourself out there.
and we did that for sure.
We did.
And it is beginning to pay off, and we do see a future, and we do see very possibility of making the Florida Keys our home. So
And I want to say this to all the people that live here and I work with that watch us. Thank you so much, because I know you already live here and you already see the beauty and you know all the pros and cons. But I just want to say thank you to those people who have said, hey, I love your channel and you guys are great. That really means a lot to us.
yeah, the people in the Florida Keys have been fantastic to us. We have met so many friends, and man, just blossomed down here with that piece of it.
Bet you we've met 200 people since we moved here.
At least.
Easy.
At least.
Easy.
At least.
So many people we can't remember everybody's name.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we hope that something we shared with you tonight. I know we rambled a lot. This is a Mark and Laurie style video for sure. So if you've been following our channel for a while, I guess you kind of are used to it from us being kind of haphazard and saying whatever.
Just
But
winging it.
we hope you enjoyed the video. We hope you continue to watch us, and heck, we'll see you on our next adventure.
That's right. No telling where we're going next.
All right. Thanks, guys, for watching Gables on the Go. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.